Congratulations, you made it. You did the interview, you got the job, you made it to the next role. The challenge is you were extremely tactical in your last role, and now they're looking for strategy in this role. And now you've become the super doer instead of actually being the leader that you know you can be because you were tactical in your last job, but now you need strategy in this job. You're always on green, you never disappoint, you never miss a deadline, and yet you still seem to be in the weeds. And the thing is, I see you, sis. I see exactly what's happening. You get into the boardroom, the CEO asks you exactly what's happening, and instead of you providing the outcomes and the strategy, you go back into the weeds because it's safe. It is safe to talk about tickets. It's safe to talk about tasks. It's safe to talk about the process. Their eyes begin to glaze over, and then the temperature drops, and you feel as if you are in the weeds. But keep in mind, you stay in the weeds because the weeds are safe. The challenge here is that the strategy is a blank page, and the strategy remains blank because you don't have one. But the reason you don't have one is because it takes you out of your comfortability mode. It takes you out of your safe mode. And if you are unsafe, that means you're vulnerable. And if you are vulnerable, God forbid you're vulnerable, then that means that you have to actually come out of your shell and be visible. So then you leave the meeting feeling like a fraud. And the more you feel like a fraud, the more you don't want the title. Or let me rephrase that. You actually want the title, but you don't want them to see that you're vulnerable. You don't want them to see that you're in the weeds, and you don't want them to see that you don't have a strategy. As a side note, you are terrified that they're going to figure out that you have the title without the strategy. You are addicted to the dopamine hit of completing the task, which means you have an addiction to completion instead of an addiction to the outcome. When you answer an email, you feel productive. When you provide information on the task, on the list, on the process, you actually feel productive, not realizing that the strategy is what's going to move you to the next level. You are self-medicating with busy work, not realizing that you removing the vision or lack of completion of the vision, which means you have to look at the outcome. That means that you're actually stealing from your team. You're stealing their coaching. You're stealing their development. You are stealing the opportunity for them to actually learn what a leader is. Essentially, you are scared to let go of execution, and that's where I come in. Keep in mind, when you start talking about ops and scaling, it is about how you execute. Then, when we talk about execution, this execution is for your team to execute, not for you to execute. The more you stay in the weeds, the less you will scale your leadership. So, we have to upgrade your leadership, moving you from executor to operations. In the masterclass, we talk about how you're going to delegate and what that looks like. As an executive leadership coach, I force you to sit in the discomfort of white space, which means you have to have a strategy. Fill that white space with strategy. Let's move you from a fixer to a visionary. It is better up there. If you need more, DanieSheldon.net. Don't get waitlisted for the masterclass. If you want a one-on-one, I'm here. Happy lead.